COVID.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is John Cronin. I've got the privilege to serve as a state senator in the Worcester and Middlesex District. Welcome to this month's episode of Cronins Corner. I am pleased and ecstatic to be joined today by Elizabeth Coveney, who is the CEO, President, Commander of the Starship, General of the Boys and Girls Club for Fitchburg, Leominster, and the Gardner Clubhouses,
Yes.
right? Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure to be here.
So we're going to talk about a lot of the great work that happens at the Boys and Girls Club and why it's so vital to our community. But for those who are just getting to know you, can you talk about your professional background and kind of your journey to taking this role you're in right now?
Sure, I'd love to. So first, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. I love the studio. It's such a beacon for...
FATV does an incredible job here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's right here in our community, I love it. So I have been with the Boys and Girls Club now 23 months. And I say that because every day is so different and it feels like we should be counting in lower increments. So I'm rounding my almost 2 years and it feels like yesterday that I joined. My history was not in the not-for-profit space. I spent 29 years of my career in the consumer products industry. I work for the Coca-Cola company. So the fact that I am wearing blue is so unusual because we were not.
And you're in Fitchburg too.
It's a little dangerous, yes. But I spent 29 years at Coke in a variety of roles in different disciplines, from sales to marketing to operations.
Coke's headquartered in Atlanta?
Yes.
In Georgia?
Atlanta,
Were
Georgia.
Were you down in Georgia for a part of it?
I was, yeah. I didn't live there, but I worked from there. So
Gotcha.
The beauty of having, this expansive world that we live in. My team was all over the U.S., so I led a business unit. I led all of the convenience retail business, large store, military.
Yep.
So I had a big role and a big team and traveled all the time. And
did you ever go to Ireland? Because I know Coke has a huge footprint in Ireland.
Yes,
too.
I had a client in Ireland. Spent my 25th year anniversary with my husband there, conveniently over St. Patrick's Day.
Hopefully on Coke's tab.
Yes,
right?
completely.
Yep.
Yes, it was good news. So yes, we have Ireland. I've traveled quite a bit with Coke. And then I did a stint in advertising.
Gotcha.
So I ran the McDonald's business in probably the north half of the country, and did all the McDonald's advertising for Arnold Worldwide. And I did a little stint in entrepreneurial. I did organizational development and started my own executive search firm and did that for a couple of years. So I've kind of done the gambit, and what eventually led me into this role, I had always been a volunteer. I had always worked with hunger concerns, family adoption, foster care, children's interests. And when COVID hit, I was one of those products. I had been on a plane every week. Everybody moved home. My whole family moved home. And I was like, wow, this is great. We're home, we're together. And it was just that time and that reflection point where I said, I want to do something different. And Coca-Cola is an amazing company, great resources, deep pockets, amazing learning, but the passion for something that has a purpose and a mission is what brought me to the Boys and Girls Club. And it's a very similar, you're using your business acumen, you're using all of the disciplines.
You're leading an organization, right?
Exactly. You're leading, you're developing, you're creating, you're all those things, and you have to do it in a little different vein because it's not for profit.
Did you know what you were looking for, or did it pop up and then you said, this is the right fit?
That's such a good question. I have been looking in the mental health space. I have no background in clinical or any type of, but I was like, this is a need. So I think it was more the need. And I saw kids during COVID. I have a lot of friends who are teachers and educators, and my daughter's a BCBA. And so I was thinking, oh my goodness, like this is a need. And so the Boys and Girls Club was conducting a nationwide search. They found me. I always say I'm not sure who found each other.
Yeah.
But it was the right time and the right place, and certainly the right space.
So what is the mission of the Boys and Girls Club, and what are some of the roles that it fills in our community?
Yeah, so I would say just the headline is really our mission is to inspire youth and to really be extraordinary. We want to serve we want to inspire and enable all young people. We want them to do their best. We want them to be, to graduate from high school with a plan for a career. It doesn't have to be college. It could be anything. It's just really, what is your passion? And to do it with good character and a healthy lifestyle. And that's really our mission, is that we look for those who need us most. So our clubs serve 8 to 18-year-olds. We have this amazing program, amazing staff, which we can talk about. But the 8 to 18-year-olds, we have 7 schools that we serve in Fitchburg, 5 in Leominster, 3 in Gardner. We are diverse. Every socioeconomic, ethnic, cultural, sexual, gender, it doesn't matter. You are welcome at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yep.
And as an after-school youth development program, we're there to supplement and to continue the education. As you know, a lot of the arts were cut, music programs, and this is what we do. We offer them the exploration to be able to look and say, this is something that really interests me.
One of the things that I love, and we were there earlier in the week, but the Leominster Clubhouse is actually my old elementary school. So I have, I told the story, I got kind of the chills. But it was a parochial school, and lots of happy memories in that building. Some unhappy memories in the vice principal, Sister Sandra's office. But what has happened to that campus is really remarkable, and it's so special what that footprint looks like now. Can you talk about the development of that building and what services and programs are offered out of there?
Yeah, absolutely. And first and foremost, thank you, because through your generous donation.
It's not my money.
I shouldn't say donation, you're right.
Yeah.
Through your generous allocation and through just the support of the constituents here, we were really able to develop our outside
And we had
space.
a fun week. I think you came in with some kids who were involved with Boys and Girls to the State House in my office.
Yep.
You were there in a good time. It was budget week. So
I know. It's amazing.
It was the right time to be asking for money. Yeah. And,
Time, place, and space.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we were there with the Alliance, which was great. We had
Right.
an amazing experience. I couldn't get out of your building, though. It's so hard to get out of your building.
Yeah, I know how to get to the mailroom and to the garage and to the center floor, and that's it. Yeah.
So
you can get lost.
we did decide, we said, as we were coming out of COVID, we really needed to appreciate what kids were, what was their current state. I don't think we'll ever go back to what happened before COVID, because it's just a different world that we're living in. And what we always say is we want to bring kids out of isolation and into socialization.
And in many ways, it's not a better world, right, for kids,
No.
right? I mean, especially there's a lot of people who are adults, seniors, kids who are stuck in front of their phones or screens, right? Yeah, which is different than the world that me and you grew up in.
Absolutely, and I love that you went to Julie Country Day. I mean, that's
School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
that's what it's.
Is that right?
Tough guy factory.
Well, everyone who went there always has a story. So I love the history.
No, it was a great place. Yeah.
But we ended up realizing that although we have these great programs with STEAM, and we'll talk a little bit about those, but the kids want to be outside. They need to be outside, and we have a strict no cell phone policy for our juniors.
I love it.
So they are not allowed to have. And trust me, and we collect phones. I'm like, whose phone do we have today? But we built a sport court, and we did a ribbon cutting yesterday, and it was really exciting because I don't know if anyone's heard about pickleball, but it's a phenomenon that's growing.
Absolutely.
So we did a pickleball court, volleyball court. We have hockey, foursquare, and we did this because we wanted to expand our outdoor space. And that's exactly what we did. And so now all these kids, we have a full playground, we have volleyball, we have baseball, we have all these different areas.
And
but
it's
now
part
we
of
have
the
fun.
old Doyle estate, right? And I think it's one of the most beautiful parcels of land in Leominster. It really is.
Amazing, amazing. And the whole nature. So we're just about to break ground on our outdoor classroom and outdoor playground. So it's going to be Nature's Classroom and Nature's Playground. And we are so excited because getting kids outside and away from their screens and involved in something that sparks their curiosity
Yeah.
is so important. And we recognize that. That's certainly something that's coming out of the pandemic.
And it's such a healthy environment too. I think, DA Joe Worley talks about it too. The most important things for kids are that time before or after school, and having good role models. Do you want to talk a little bit about the staff and some of the incredible people who are involved?
Yeah, so we have, so when I arrived 23 months ago, there was a lot of change.
Yeah.
Change on the board, change in the leadership team. It was post-pandemic, or kind of we were still in the pandemic, quite frankly. And it was hard to find talent. And I think you have to find the right mix, and then all of a sudden it's like exponential. People want to work there, people want to come there. We're finally building back to the level where we need to be. But finding that right mix of talent has really been beautiful to watch unfold.
You were probably like the best person to be able to build that team, though, right?
Well,
it's
because
something you've
that's what
done
I've
in your career, right? Yeah, for 30 years.
Yes, exactly. So recognizing, what people can bring, and everyone has different strengths, but how we work together and collaboratively is just so critical. So we have a really young group of kids who are our youth development professionals. They are kind of the front line. We have a variety of experienced teachers, art professionals. We have an amazing leadership team, some that have been there 20 years and some that have been there 2 months.
Yeah.
And so bringing everyone together is really, that's my job. I always say I'm like kind of the captain of the ship, and you have all these instruments and all these, when you have to navigate, and you're going to have some calm waters and you're going to have some rough seas, but you've got a great crew, because you can't do it without your crew. Yep. And that's how I feel about my team, and certainly the board, who has been incredibly supportive of me. The other part that's I always want to mention is our partnerships. So we have great community partners. So we're doing a program, so our STEAM-based programming, we have an arts piece, and we just hired a new theater person. She's doing theater, music. We have an expressive arts program, which really allows kids to just be in a safe space and let their full potential come around. We certainly have a very vibrant athletics program where we do triple play as one of our biggest programs.
What's that? What's triple play?
So triple play is really about how they can use nutrition as well as physical fitness, and but organized sports. So how do you take all of these
and integrate it into a healthy lifestyle?
Integrate it, exactly.
Gotcha.
That it's not just about winning; it's about how do you look at teamwork? How do you know the history of basketball? How do you eat properly to fuel your body? The other piece is Groton Hill Music, so that's a good partner of ours, and we are so grateful.
I didn't know about this. I didn't know about this relationship. All right, this is exciting.
Groton Hill comes over. They do bucket drumming. Now, you don't think bucket drumming is unbelievable, and shout out to Lowe's and Home Depot for getting us some buckets. But we do ukuleles. We have we teach piano.
Do you play the ukulele?
I don't, John. I know. When I turned 40, my husband gave me a guitar and guitar lessons, and boy, I donated the guitar to the club.
You either got the gift or you don't, right?
Yeah, it's either you're there or you're not.
Yeah.
So, but I will say that Groton Hill, they bring amazing talent, and they just integrate so well with our team and our kids. So
and
we
the
love
kids
that.
able to go and see the Groton Hill Music Center?
We have not, but that's certainly on our wish list.
Great.
Yeah,
it's just an unbelievable asset for the region too. So
it is beautiful.
That's a really exciting relationship.
But where will it? I mean, we give piano lessons.
Yeah.
We have 5 pianos. 3 of which anyone would not sound good on, but just the beauty of that, and kids not ever getting to experience that.
So how many kids are involved in one program or another?
So we have a really strict ratio. So we have a 20-to-1 ratio.
Gotcha.
So our tech lab, we only have 16 stations, so we opened another tech lab.
Good.
And our science room, we can fit up to 30, but that means we have to have 2 staff members. So we're very cognizant of our attention to the kids,
and making sure that the right mix is there,
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
So I mean, the busiest hours must be 3 to 6, or is that when the building is buzzing?
Well, it's amazing because everyone kind of comes off the bus. We do get transportation. We're beneficiaries of a amazing community development block grant, which we're so grateful for, because transportation costs continue to be cost prohibitive, quite frankly. So we're working with with the CDBG just to be able to do that. And they come off the bus, they are wired. I mean, it's crazy. And they're seeing kids from all different schools. So they're, this is like their socialization. So
good.
we let them go like outside in the gym, and we're monitoring all of that. And then we give them a hot meal that is volunteered, served, provided by the school system. Amazing. They all get a hot meal. And I'm telling you, these kids need it. They're starving.
Yeah.
And Fridays and Mondays are always the busiest because they're going into perhaps an area where they won't have food. So for us, that's
and
really
most kids
critical.
are getting their only hot meals at school
That's
or
right.
at the Boys and Girls
That's
Club
right.
too, right? So yeah, really.
So when
really
I think
critical.
about community and this amazing place called Fitchburg, Leominster, and Gardner, that's an incredible attribute. And then we go into programming. So from 4:30 to 5:30, it's a solid program hour. So you pick your program. You could be in the tech lab, you can be in art, you can be in science, you can be in robotics, the gym, whatever it is. And there's an organized program.
Yep.
So there's a curriculum. It could be, of course, I love the Coke with Mentos. That's a good one. Don't try it at home. Got to come to the Boys and Girls Club. But the explosion of
right.
Coke
And don't drink Diet Coke and eat Mentos, right?
That's right.
That's the lesson.
Not a good,
not a good mix. Yeah.
But they,
YouTube it and don't do it to yourself.
And then the flag football teams and the dodgeball. I mean, you can get injured pretty quickly. But so that's like the program hour, and then kids will get dismissed on a rolling basis.
Yep.
So the parents are coming in, and the funniest part is we just got a great furniture donation from AIS, which was fantastic, and we set it
They're
up.
really great corporate citizens,
Oh,
right?
my
I mean,
gosh.
AIS was there with. Made an incredibly generous donation to the United Way Fund for the Leominster Relief Fund for the floods too. So not surprising that AIS stepped up again.
Completely stepped up. And so we have this area where parents, they're coming in from work, they're waiting to get their kids. The kids don't want to leave the program, so it's a little awkward. So AIS gave us this wonderful furniture, so now they can sit and relax and scroll through their phone or talk to another parent. And it's those kind of, they're not even small, they're so significant, but these contributions and these partnerships. So
and it's a place where like all these good things are coming together at the same time too, right? If you're an 8 to 18-year-old or you're a parent who wants their kids to be involved in one of these programs, how do they get involved with the Boys and Girls Club?
So we're constantly, we have not capped our program. We won't cap our program. We'll keep hiring. We'll keep finding space. We'll keep building because we're serving less than 3% of the population. There's almost 15,000, there's about 13,500 kids out there. And we know that we can serve more. We know we need to serve more. So on our website, you can easily register. It's $30 a month, $1 a day. And if you have financial hardship, we will put you through our kind of scholarship program.
Yep.
So it's affordable, it's safe, it's a great place to continue to build curiosity and friendships and peer leadership. And yesterday we did a anti-bullying assembly.
Yep.
And Luck came in, great partner, another great partner, and did a whole program on anti-bullying, or what does bullying mean to you?
Yeah.
And the kids presented. And it was just phenomenal to watch. They were in small groups. They had to work, in that dynamic.
Yep.
And then they presented. These are, 10 and 11-year-olds presenting to their peers. It was just a really
And just critical
beautiful
years
thing.
for development too, right? To have good role models, or you go up the street or down the street at that age.
Very true. Yeah.
On the other side of it, what are ways that people can volunteer to be a mentor or help with programming or be involved to support the mission?
Thank you for asking. So we have kind of 3 areas of volunteering. One is really around that. Do you have a specialty? Do you like to sew? Do you like to cook?
Could you teach piano? Right?
Could you teach piano?
Yeah.
Could you? We have great volunteers that are still working but come in and do the power hour, which is our homework room. So we went from having I think about 17 kids. Parents sign a contract. Kids sign a contract. They're going to do their homework. And we're way over. I think last week we topped almost 70 kids in the homework room.
Right? Yeah.
And it's not even that they may or may not have homework. They come in because it's a quiet space. They can get help. And so just whatever your specialty is, whatever your passion is, we have people who want to come in and teach knitting. Well, great. That's fantastic. We also have a lot of teams that come in. You know, team building. They'll come in, they'll clean the kitchen, they'll do kind of manual labor, if you will. But we had St. Bernard's, their honors class came in, unbelievable kids.
Yeah.
And they're there not when the kids are there, but we can do both. And then the third piece is really, so we have kind of the specialty programs, we have the the big groups, and then our third piece is really on that peer mentoring. So we work with a lot of our banking partners on money matters and
financial
literacy,
yeah.
Yes. And so it might be a 1 day a week or 1 day a month or a semester program, but what are some of those kind of things that we can get peer-to-peer mentoring and leadership?
So I love just listening to you talk about how the programs are able to scale. Where would you like to see the Boys and Girls Club and the footprint here in North Central be in the next 5 years? Or where would you like to take the organization?
Oh, goodness, growth. It's really about growth. I have learned to spell Leominster, Fitchburg, and Gardner very effectively. But, the end of the day, we'd love to be that place for North Central. We want to be the club that can, we welcome anyone. It's just a matter of transportation.
Yep.
So whether you're from Athol or Westminster or wherever
we're open for business.
We're open for business.
Yeah.
And ideally, and I know this is being recorded, but I think there's a huge need for daycare for pre and post. Parents are out there, they're working, I'm a grandma, I understand the plights of what that is like for my daughter and her husband. And so being able to serve even a younger population, we do this summer blast camp. It's a great camp.
Yeah.
We have, this summer we served over 400 kids. We have a Sprouts program, 5 to 7-year-olds. Honest to God, the cutest little kids you've ever seen. And we have to cap it because we could only take so many, but there's such a need there.
And nobody loves those camps more than the parents too, right?
Right?
It's something good to do during the summer.
So I think growth, expansive growth, and being yet another resource for parents and families.
What did you not expect? What surprised you about taking this position? Because it was a pretty significant career departure for you. Is there anything that jumps out that you weren't expecting that has impacted you or that you've appreciated from this role?
My biggest aha is that, when you're in corporate America, everyone is focused on the mission of shareholder value, stock price.
Yep.
It's a pretty easy mission.
There's a bottom line,
there
right?
Is. Yeah. And what struck me the most in coming in this role is everyone said, oh, that's going to be so hard. You have all these resources and now you can, I'm like, but the resources are there because the passion of the people and the community is so prevalent. And so for me, the resources are, you just garner them in a different way. But what was so surprising, so enlightening, and so essential to what we're doing is that people really care. People care about the kids. They care about our future generation.
It's tough to not be inspired, but when you're seeing the work that's going on there every day, I'm sure, right?
It is. So I was one of those people with like stock prices. I led an organization, so I was that leader. But I think now it's just, how do we serve another kid? How do we get this family what they need? How do we expand more? What program are we missing? So it's just a different energy level.
Yeah.
And you just can't get there fast enough.
One of the things that I've loved is seeing all the different things and events. I think there was like a wrestling event that I saw, right? There's like different galas. But is there a moment that sticks out to you that has been your favorite moment in the 23 months that maybe that encapsulates some of the joy or inspiration that's going on? Or
well, you're absolutely right. We've done some great events.
Pretty innovative stuff too, right? Yeah. Was there
the
a
Clash
sumo
at the Club? Yeah, the wrestling.
The sumo wrestling. Was it the first time there was a sumo wrestling event?
It was not the first time, and it won't be the last. And we're doing it again in a couple weeks. And the galas, they're always lovely. We did a Blue Door event, and the Blue Door event was an event to thank. There was no ask, there was no fundraising. It was simply an event to genuinely show appreciation to our staff, to our community, and to our contributors. And we had it catered by the Finicky Fork, and we had the whole
Who
gym.
do unbelievable
Right?
stuff, right?
Oh
Have
my
you been over to
gosh.
Popper's Pantry yet?
That's on our list.
You got to
yes.
hit it for lunch.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
good.
keep hearing that. David
Yeah.
keeps making me promise I'll take him
It's
there.
really good. Yeah, it's really good.
So, but I will tell you that event, because there was no ask, it wasn't like thank you and,
Yeah.
it was just simply a moment of gratitude. So I would say that stands out as something very special, because you really do want to give thanks and be genuinely grateful for all the gifts that we've been given. The other thing, John, and I will say this, every meeting we start with a mission moment, and we talk about something that happened in the club that involves a kid. And I remember this, it was really funny. My office overlooks the kids' play area, and I look out and there's this child who's kind of like hunched down, and I think she's crying. And I go out and I'm like, hey, you know, are you okay? And I'm leaning in, and she looks right up and she goes, you are ruining my hiding spot. And they were playing hide and seek, but at the moment I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. But you know, you
Not
just—
a very good hiding
I know,
spot, by the way. Yeah,
I could
right,
see
yeah,
you.
yeah.
But it was just, you know, you always have these funny moments. I mean, the kids will say, do you own this place? And I want to say, no, kind of. No. But you know, they have such awe, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
it's really beautiful. So,
And the range of age too is
yes.
it's a big difference between an 8 and an 18-year-old, right? I'm sure.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is good stuff. But I'm so grateful for all your work and
thank
your
you.
leadership. It's just it's incredible to be able to see all the good that's happening, and really putting kids on pathways to opportunity and having great role models. So thank you for all you do. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Most grateful.
And how can people? All right. So a final pitch. How can people donate, get involved, and connect with the Boys and Girls Club?
So thank you. So we are constantly trying to really build community, as I've said. We're trying to build capacity.
Yep.
So our capacity is directly correlated to
Resources.
financials and resources. So, you know, we're about to launch a donation campaign. People call it annual campaigns. We're calling it, it's really about the Blue Door, because the Blue Door signals opportunity and hope, and an openness that you can be here and you can be who you are. And so we're just about to do a big direct mail piece for that. We follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, on LinkedIn. You know, we're always trying to post all those events. We're doing the wrestling event, we're doing the galas, we're doing all this stuff. And we'll continue to try to give back to the community just as the community has given to us. So, and then I would ask, if you have a talent, if you are interested in volunteering, if you want to be to work at the Boys and Girls Club, we're constantly
Come
hiring.
on down, right?
Come on down, that's right. And then the last ask, and I always say this, and I think it's so important, is really practice humanity. You know, we all need to be role models for our kids, and by practicing kindness and really being kind of contagious with our positivity and our humanity, I think we'll all be in a better place, and these kids are going to show us the way.
Great. That's a good way to end it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Coveney, everybody, the head of the Boys and Girls Club at the Fitchburg, Leominster, and Gardner campus. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, and please get involved and help support this great mission. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Appreciate you.